Europe-wide survey. And please wait for the thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up's there.
Okay, so welcome. I'm Semra from Boğaziçi University, Istanbul. So as I just told, I'm going to present on behalf of my student, former student. I actually didn't expect to turn this study going to be a European-wide survey. He did an amazing job. Our motivation with the study is, even though we are discussing the cutting-edge technologies and robotics here in this conference, unfortunately, construction industry is one of the least digitalized sectors. However, the projects are getting more complex and larger, so the cost management becomes even more important. So the key functions in the sense of 5D BIM is the automated quantity takeoff, which is the most common application of 5D basically, the cost planning, forecasting, change management, cash flow analysis, and value engineering, and together with claims management. However, this issue actually divides the industry into two. Some people think that this is revolutionary, but some people think that this is overrated. So, which brings us to our gap in the literature. So when we look at the papers, they are usually take case studies, specific, concentrating on a specific project. So we are actually lack of a general understanding of empirical evidence on how contextual factors actually shape the practical outcomes. So that's why we decided to conduct a survey, which turned out to be a European-wide survey, benefits through a large-scale survey of European construction industry. So we try to answer the following question: how do project characteristics, user profiles, and features used affect the perceived success of 5D BIM? So for this study, we designed a survey which has 4 parts: respondent information, project characteristics, 5D BIM implementation, and benefits of 5D BIM. We were very strict with the target group, so we made sure that actually we're getting the data from the correct construction representatives who doesn't have only the BIM experience, but 5D BIM experience. We contact them through LinkedIn, 236 people we reach out, and out of them, 163 were qualified, and we collected data from 59 practitioners. So we, first of all, cleaned the data, and we identified the perceived benefits, and we calculate the overall perceived benefits by simply taking the average of the score, and we use some data visualization techniques. So let's look at our results. So the average age of our participants were 35, and they had average of 12 years of experience in the industry, 8 years of experience with BIM, and 6 years of experience with 5D BIM. So which proves that we actually collected the data from the correct group of audience. We didn't find a meaningful relationship between the distribution of overall perceived benefits and their characters. So it shows that actually their experience doesn't really play a major role in terms of the benefits we received from 5D BIM. The second figure shows which 5D BIM functions are actually used, and as you may guess, the quantity takeoff is the most common benefit that we are receiving. And after that, usage drops considerably. This suggests that many professionals still associate 5D BIM with quantity takeoff, which is actually not true. And throughout my presentation, I'll mention that just focusing on single factor is not useful. Once you start to focus on more factors related to 5D BIM, you actually increase the satisfaction level in terms of 5D BIM application. So in other words, there's still some ambiguity about what 5D BIM really means, and our findings suggest that true 5D BIM starts when we move beyond the quantity takeoff. Another result, there is the overall professionals report a very positive, as you can see from the first line over there, positive perception of 5D BIM. And the greatest, again, BIM, not surprisingly, is related to the quantity takeoff. Cost estimation also received as reasonable, a significant strong support. And linking the bill of quantities directly to the BIM model creates a more objective and consistent data set, which speeds up the process and reduces obviously the manual work. So participants also emphasize improved collaboration and better communication between the stakeholders. Next, we investigated, and we have an interesting result here, whether different stakeholders perceive the different levels of benefits. The most interesting outcome here is contractors actually reported lower, and we don't think that it's because of the technical issues. It's most probably, it's related to commercial concerns. So 5D BIM increases the cost transparency, and this may expose sensitive, obviously, pricing information which contractors may not really be willing to share with. So on the other hand, we didn't observe any meaningful difference based on their respondents' current job role. Here we observe a nonlinear relationship. Small companies actually reported high benefits, and large companies also reported high benefits. Small companies are very flexible and adopt more quickly, and large companies actually, they have more resources, standardized processes, and specialized teams. So that's why they're not facing challenges, but the medium-sized companies unfortunately face more challenges throughout this adaptation process. And also similar to the company size, the project size also have similar results. So for large projects, we observe a higher satisfaction level, and for lower, small scale projects, again, we observe higher satisfaction level, while for medium projects, it's a little bit a question mark. So national context also matters. So if you are conducting a project in a BIM mature country like Western Europe countries, then the benefits that you identify, the satisfaction level is much higher compared to less mature in terms of BIM application countries. So this suggests that countries with lower BIM maturity they reported lower perspectives. This may be relating to the actually missing standards or lack of governmental support or national cost databases. Okay, all of these may actually maybe some obstacles in front of the companies in those environments that are not mature enough. BIM expertise also shows a clear positive trend. Those are more experienced, obviously highlighted more, they were more satisfied, and they identify more perceived benefits, while the ones that are not experienced couldn't highlight the benefits as the experienced one. We also find that integrated project delivery achieved the highest perceived benefits. So IPD encourages collaboration, early contractor involvement, and also shared responsibility. So these characteristics obviously create a much better environment for 5D BIM application. And this is the last finding that we have, probably one of the most important finding of this study. So organizations that use 5D for only one purpose reported the lowest satisfaction level. So once they start to use the 5D BIM, 2 or more applications, functions, satisfaction increases sharply. So this suggests a value threshold, and the more comprehensively 5D BIM is implemented, the greater the perceived benefits. So in other words, 5D BIM should not be viewed as an integrated, as an integrated system rather than a single software function. So let's summarize the key findings. First of all, using 5D BIM only for quantity takeoff is not enough. Second, combining multifunctions is the right approach. It creates greater value. Third, contractors perceive lower benefits, most probably because of the increased cost transparency. Fourth, medium-sized companies face the greatest challenge. And finally, mature BIM ecosystem and collaboration delivery methods provide the best environment for the successful implementation. As all studies, we also do have limitations. First of all, the sample size is relatively small, or I don't know, for me it was satisfactory, because experienced 5D BIM professionals are still limited. And second, we measure the perceived benefits rather than actual financial performance. And finally, many respondents came from Turkey, which may also influence the regional comparison. So in the future, we plan to combine the perception-based survey with real project performance data. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, more than willing.